My brother was good.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. My
Hi.
brother, what's up, man?
I'm good, bro. What's up?
Hey, I'm good. Chilling,
Yo.
man.
Yo, how's the week been so far?
Good, man. Productive.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
How's yours, man?
It was pretty awesome. Just mostly worked, make some music, and just prepared some vlogs and more music for 2021.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to hear what you got.
Yeah, me too. Before we get started, tell the world like who you are.
Yeah, man. Eric Barrier the third, rap name EB3. Yeah, man. Artist, sing or rap. I don't do production, but seems like I do because I put my songs together.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
freaking
man,
awesome.
I'm a West Side boy
Nice.
in California. Yeah, man.
Yo. So, how do you get started into music?
Um, it's funny because my whole family is into music. Um, I'm sure Cam, you already know, but just for if anyone's listening who doesn't know, so my pops is Eric B from the group Eric,
Yeah.
and my mom, her name's Catrice, but her nickname is Queen, and she used to work at Death Row Records and Ruthless Records before. So I had grown up always just being in studios and just being at music video shoots and being backstage at my family's events. So I kind of just was always around it. So I had a love for it, but I didn't start doing it until I turned like 13. I was out in Santa Clarita. I went to Valencia High School, and I don't know, it was about like a group of like 4 or 5 dudes there, right? So I'm just like by myself chilling. I didn't really know nobody because I had just moved there. Kid comes up to me out of nowhere, like, "Hey, you want to be in our rap group?"
Yeah.
Turns out this kid lived like right across the street from where I just moved, so it was like easy, and he had the studio set up. So I used to go over his house and just get on the mic whenever we could, freestyle, write whatever it was, and that's how I got started. It was so random, but I just ended up. At first, it was just a fun little joke thing that I did, but I ended up really loving it.
Yo, that is amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yo. It's wild because I kind of came from like a musical background as well. But the thing
Yeah,
was that like my family was like low key about it. The only
right.
who lived in the house where I stayed at he played for a parang band, and for those who don't know, parang is like a genre of music from Trinidad, where you basically play like different instruments, like bass and a whole bunch of different instruments, like
Yeah.
steel pan and all those stuff. Like my uncle, he was a bass player, and I didn't even get into music like until like I got out of high school, and like
Mm.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. And by the time I was writing poems, and then when I started watching TV, I was on Rhapsody and shit, and I was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
I want to try this shit."
Absolutely. That's me too. I started doing poetry before I started rapping.
Yo, that's
That's so
awesome.
funny. I think
Yo,
that's probably why, like, when I write my songs, it's so wordy. Cause, like, that's just how I started. It's so funny.
yeah. Oh, and speaking about this, here's a question I always wanted to ask someone.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
do you think that being, let's say, a second generational rapper, do you
Hmm.
think that has any advantages?
Second generation. What do you mean by that?
Let's say that you have a parent who's into music. Do
Right,
you think
right.
that you have an advantage just because of that?
Oh, yes. Okay, okay. No, I like that. I love that question. Because honestly, I think it depends. It depends. Because like I see some kids, so like I mean, not to be name dropping, but like okay, the Smiths. I
I was
mean, I
about to
see
say that.
like exactly right,
I
my
was
brother.
about to say that too.
Where it's like okay, if he's pushing them, like Will's pushing Jay and stuff. If he's supporting them, if he's helping them get the resources to create, you can have an advantage in that way. But in my personal situation, I would say it helped because I was able to get on stage in front of crowds I wouldn't normally. other than that, it hasn't really been an advantage for me because I feel like it's like most of everything I've done, I've pretty much done on my own, and just like building with me and my brothers. So I don't feel like it's really been an advantage. I think maybe people could say just in my blood, it's an advantage of being like, oh, it's in your blood to do music. So I guess that way, but it hasn't been literally for me.
That's a great perspective. I also feel like there's like advantages in a certain way, and there's like things that you have to do yourself. Because I always see people be like, I always see people act like, yo, this guy, he's the son of this, so it's obviously he's gonna pop off. But when I look at people like Jaden Smith, I'm like, yo, this is not true because I've been listening to Jaden Smith music before like he popped off now. And he was still really underdeveloped. He took a lot of time to like learn his style, learn his craft. Like the time when he blew up was after he started hanging out with Gambino more. And it's like whatever he learned from Gambino, he applied it to himself, and that's when he really started to blossom.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a certain advantage because of your family. It's just in you, but you still got to do the work.
Exactly.
You still got to. So that's where I give him credit. So yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah. Yo. So how is it like in California right now?
Man, it's starting to get a little cold for me personally.
Oh man.
It's still beautiful though. I will not lie to you. Like if you were to ask people, I get cold easily. If you were to ask anybody, they'll probably be like, it's cool. It's been like 66 and sunny. But so for some people, it's like I'm damn near winter, so that's really good. But for me, I'll be cold.
Oh, man.
I'm wearing a hoodie right now, but it's still beautiful though, as far as the sunshine and the trees and everything.
That's awesome. I really want to visit there by December, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with these lockdowns because I heard they're coming back.
Man, for real, bro.
Yo, how did speaking about the lockdown? How did the coronavirus like slow you down?
Man, you know what? It's so funny because I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I knew it was going to come up. The Sound Speed album. So for everyone who doesn't know, I'm supposed to drop an EP called Sound Speed.
Yo.
So for me, I had planned to release it, which is my solo EP. I was in a group called Data Traction a few years before up until this point. So this was about to be my debut year, like 2020, released my solo project, like, let's go. And then the coronavirus hit about March. And then March, April, started everyone getting serious lockdown and everything. So it's kind of slowed me down in the sense of like, I was moving really quickly trying to get to this point of this release of like trying to prove this point that, hey, I'm here. And then the virus is like, hey, sit down, think of it. But I also look at it kind of like a blessing because it's like now I have a lot more time to rethink what I'm doing and add on to it and practice my craft more. So it's been both a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Oh man, I know how you feel. Like before the coronavirus happened, I was about to do my first solo show in New York.
Man.
And I was like pissed because like the week when it got bad, it was like, yeah, we had to shut everything down. I'm like, no.
Exactly.
I was like, yo, but it was a blessing because at the same time, because even though like I had to work extra because essential jobs and shit,
yeah, absolutely.
I still was able to like make more music than I ever can. Like this is the first time I ever made this much music. And
yeah, bro, I love that. I love to hear that.
All right. And at the same time, I'm also paying attention to like a lot of the other artists that are still dropping music. And they took advantage of the whole situation because what I noticed was that the labels kind of got scared. So they barely like drop music. But the artists who drop music during the coronavirus, they end up blowing up. Like Machine Gun Kelly, for instance, he started doing some quarantine covers. And
yeah, man.
For some reason, he went from making about, let's say, 200K streams to going like 1 million. And then he just dropped a whole album based on this new cover style he's been doing.
Yeah, dude, his new style is crazy. I really like it.
Yo, it's like amazing.
It suits him so well.
I think I saw another artist. I forgot who it was. It's a singer, an R&B singer, and her label, they weren't dropping her music, so she decided to like learn some skills and make her own music and drop them anyway. And they went through. So I was like, yo, everyone's taking advantage of this.
Exactly. Everyone's pretty much expanding on whatever it is they want to do.
Oh man. Yo, speaking about that, how did that attraction like came together?
Man, that attraction. All right, so when I was telling you earlier how a group of kids came up to me, hey, you wanna come rap? You look like you wanna come be in our group. So this was like around the same time as Odd Future. So it was like about 11 kids or so. So of course we wanted to be like Odd Future. We was like freshmen in high school. Everybody excited, geek to just get on the mic and do whatever. So we call ourselves Club 11. So it was 11 of us, so we call ourselves Club 11. And we would just rap, freestyle, get on the mic. Everybody write their verse. We just record on a little USB condenser mic. And after a while, it was like me, my boy Nate, who was in the group That Attraction with me, but it wasn't That Attraction yet at this point. So it was me, Nate, and my boy Joe Kim, who was originally the first guy to ask me if I wanted to be in the group. And who was also, what I was saying, was the dude that lived across the street from me. So it's us three left. And it's so funny because if anyone was to see my my Instagram handle, it's EB3 PM. So the PM on the end of PM, everyone thinks it stands for like PM as in night, but it actually stands for pancake mix. What? And the only reason why I bring that up is because when us three, we went from Club 11 to just us three, we were like, okay, now we need a new name because it's not 11 of us anymore. So we decided to go with the name Pancake Mix.
Yo!
Not sure why, but we were just super excited and loved it. And we dropped a couple mixtapes under that using the condenser mic we had at the time and recording on Audacity for free and all that. This stuff you do before you really understand Pro Tools or Ableton and all these other stuff. So it was Pancake Mix for a while, from my freshman to like, I'll say like my sophomore, end of my sophomore going into my junior year. This man, Joe Kim, like I was saying, the one that originally asked me to be in the rap group, gets a girl. Man. And it be like that. It's nothing. We young people be young in love. Stop wanting to record as much. But me and my boy Nate, we still had a love for it. So you know what? We was like, you know what? It's all good. We still got love for our boy. We just gonna keep recording, keep doing our thing. But then it's only two of us now, so now we need a new name. So this was at the time, like I was saying, like my junior year, me and Nate in the room. At this point, we learned about this thing called the law of attraction, which a lot of people talk about. And we were just like super hyped on it, just the thought that you can bring what you want into this reality. So me and my boy Nate were like, you know what? Let's call ourselves like law of attraction. Then we're like, nah, I can't do that. It's already a thing. So we just were like, you know what? That attraction. That's it. That's what we're going to make it.
Yep.
And literally from there, that's what it was. We didn't end up being the That Attraction that made the project that you know, Cam, which is the Hillside project, still up everywhere. We didn't make that until like a couple years after that. But yeah, man, that's how it started.
Yo, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, so
yo, funny. Hillside was still like a solid project to me. Like,
yeah,
I remember bumping it like on the back. Like, yo, that was freaking awesome. And then
thank you, brother. Yeah, man, I love that project.
And the video
I'm sorry, go ahead.
was freaking awesome as well. Like that.
Yeah, dude. That was such a fun time. Yeah. I would love when I see your comments on there.
Yeah. Like Seatbelt was still another one of my favorites.
Hey, dude, that's a class. That was a lot of fun to perform. We performed at so many venues, dude.
Yo,
so fun. That was a good time.
I remember seeing the videos of the performance. Like, yo, I was still mad because that day when you guys came to New York, I had work. So I was like, yo,
I know, bro. I know. I'd be sad about that.
Yeah.
Because you definitely was on the list. You would have made it through, no doubt.
Yo, but I was still pretty happy because you guys were killing it. And
hey, appreciate you, brother.
Yo, and what decided to make you guys like go solo?
Yeah, man, nothing crazy, honestly. It was just, we got to a point where we were just like, you know what? I don't know, we started maybe that attraction like 16, 17. So like from 16 to about 21. I'm 23 now. So from like 16 to 21, we did our thing. We had a album that it's not a classic to the world, maybe, but to us and to the people that know it and to the people that love it, it's a classic. So, you know, it's like we did that. We opened up for my pops, Eric B and Rakim. We did, I think, 4 big, like, major shows on both the coasts, and we performed a lot on tour. We went on the tour with Macklemore and Kesha in 2018. My boy West Period was opening up for them. In between, we were doing these community outreach events where we had a bunch of artists come through, everybody come and perform, whoever just wanted to. And we performed in those too in between. So it's like, we were like, you know what? Once we came back to Cali after doing all that stuff, we were like, you know what? We did it. We did our thing. It was beautiful. It was legendary. We're still brothers. To us, we still that attraction. To this day, whenever I link up with my brother, it's like we still that attraction. But we're on we different people, and we got different sounds that we want for ourselves, and we got different things that we want out of life, and we still gonna support each other to the end. But that's all it was, really. Just us being like, you know what, we did the thing. Let's just see what we could do at our own, but we still gonna support each other forever, you know.
Yo, that is beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Yo, how did you first linked up with Wes?
West P, that's my guy, man. I just talked to him just recently. I need to call him soon, but my dog. So so I was saying we became that attraction like 16. So 16 to 18, we in high school, graduated high school, and that next summer we were just recording in studios wherever we could. My uncles was in the industry, so they had little studios where we could record. Me and Nate ended up through my uncle's studio, meeting this guy named Matt. Matt is like, yo, I got my studio in North Hollywood. Come through. We could record 10 mixtapes if we want. I got y'all. I make unlimited beats, whatever. We started recording with this dude, Matt. In that same studio my bad, I keep wanting to say Burbank because it's like Burbank, North Hollywood, kind of close. But my boy, West Period, he was recording in that same studio, but just in a different end. Like it was like a place where there's multiple studios in there. So he was like on the opposite end. Randomly, my boy Matt is like, yo, have you heard of this artist West Period? I think I may have seen him a couple times at that point, just coming in the studio, but I hadn't met him yet. So I was like, oh, nah, but I checked out his stuff. I seen he like had like thousands of plays on his stuff. And I listened to his music. I was like, this is actually really good. Like, this is like type of shit I'm trying to make, like high key. Like, damn, this nigga tight. Like, I'm trying to meet him.
Yeah.
So my boy's like, yeah, I probably could link y'all. Y'all probably should make a song together. I think it'll be dope. Because it was like a lot of people at the studio at the time were trying to make like trap records, but me and Nate were trying to make like the conscious records or the party records or the fun records. Because like that's what we was. We was kids from the burbs at the time, so we just kept it true to what we knew, you know. And so when we linked up with Wes, we played him all our music, but it was at a point where we weren't as evolved as we were after we met him and started working with him. Because it's like we had a lot of potential, but we didn't know how to actually like put it onto records in the way that we wanted to. So when Wes heard our music, he could hear that. So played him a bunch of stuff, and he's like, I hear what y'all trying to do, and it's still dope what y'all doing. He was just like, you know what? I already like y'all just off of the fact that y'all young, y'all making y'all own records, and y'all not trying to do no trap stuff. Let me executive produce an album for y'all. I just thought we was gonna get one record with them, and I would have been super happy and blessed. This man said, "Let me executive produce an album for y'all." Me and Nate like tripping, like for real. That album that he executive produced ended up being the Hillside album, and yeah, man, that's the story. That's how we met.
Yo.
Other than that, we just recorded so much, spent so much time together. We just went from artist producer relationship to like brother relationship, you know?
Yo, that's amazing.
Yeah, man. Beautiful.
Yo. It's wild because the reason how I got to know about Wes was because a couple of years ago, right? There's this dude we know called Panda. And he was on tour with Travis Mills, and Wes was on tour with him as well. And I remember they did the video together where they started freestyling.
Hey.
And my man Panda was like, yo, you better follow this guy. Like, this guy is mad good. And that's how I got into him. And at the time, he was in Golden West. And,
Yeah, Golden West. That's crazy, bro.
I was like, yo, this dude is crazy. Like,
Facts.
he's not making the music everyone makes. So I immediately gravitated towards him.
Yeah, bro. He's a mad scientist on the music.
I know, right? But at the time, I didn't really spoken to him that much because at the time, like when I was starting to get into music, I was kind of like getting like taken advantage of. So I didn't want to network as much. So like I took my time.
I understand.
Then a couple years later, like when I finally bounced back, I was like, you know what? Let me start reaching out to people like how I used to be. And actually, like when the West was like saying, yo, I'm going to start touring soon. Where you want to go? I'm like, New York, every time. And that's how you remembered me. And it was like friends after that.
Yeah, bro, that's so tight.
Like I was doing that for like 3 years straight. You're like, yo, come to New York. And then after that, he finally came. And that's why I met you guys.
Yeah, dude. I'll never forget that. That was super tight. That was like one of our last shows on that tour.
I know, right? Like, it was amazing, like, to see you guys in person. Like, even though your brother, like, dipped for a little bit, like, it was still amazing to see all of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was already familiar with all of you guys. But
exactly.
It was to you guys as well, in person.
Yeah, bro, that shit was dope.
Yo, that was amazing. Like, these are the stuffs, like, I just live for. Like, I live for, like, seeing people like doing the things that they're doing and making an impact in this world.
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. That's what it's about. It's so funny, bro. That day my boy Francois left his phone in an Uber.
Yo, what?
Like literally had to call and get his phone back. Like on some, that was, oh my God, that's so funny.
Yo. Damn. I'm glad got back though.
Yeah, he definitely did. It worked out.
Yo, I think I remember you guys dropped a song during the tour as well. I forgot the name of it.
We did. I think it was. Was it the one with all of us on there?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, bro. It's a song called November 1st. Dude, that song is so good to me. Like, still, it's so special to me. So good to me. Because I think maybe just the time I was in my life at that time when we made the song. But then also that we ended up making the music video. We made that song like a year before we made the video. Yeah. So it was like, it just ended up being so cool. I kind of wish we kept it out, but I'm sure like at some point we've been talking about doing a Squad Thick tape forever. I'm sure it's one day it's going to actually materialize because we just got so much unheard music.
Yo, Squad Tick. That shit was, I remember you guys dropped a couple tracks. Like, I can't wait for more. Like, I hope there's more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, bro. There definitely is.
Yo. So, one thing I also wanted to mention was that, how did you first get into the spiritual journey?
Yeah, bro, I love that question. It's so funny, dude. So who I call my shaman now, and I have a song called California Baby, which Cam knows, but I have a line where it's like when I'm stressed, hit my shaman. She say, be present and patient. So my shaman, she's also a tattoo artist. Her real name's Nelly, but online, and if anyone wants to look her up, her name's Nelly the Artist online anywhere. But anyways, she's been like a family friend since, I don't know, I was like 16 or something. That's when I met her. She did a tattoo for my aunt. And like, it was like normal. Like I went to her house and met her. She was just a real cool person, like real dope person. Tatted up, just like real cool. Just ended up close to my family. I had my birthday that year. We went to Disneyland with the family. She came through. So anyways, I'm bringing her up. She one day just last year, invited me to her crib, was like, hey, you do know what a shaman is? And I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like I've heard of a shaman. I've never seen one, but I've heard of them. She's like, I think you should come through, do a meditation session with me. I'm low-key a neo-shaman. I was like, what's the neo-shaman? Looking up, and it's just nothing. It's just a name for like a modern day shaman. I'm like, All right, for sure. Let's get it. Definitely, I definitely need it. At that time, this was like right after tour and all that stuff. So like spiritually, and that's the thing that I've been getting better at now, which is just preserving my energy. But after going on tour, Macklemore and Kesha, doing all those shows, doing Eric B and Rakim right after, all these things like happened back to back. I was just like drained, and I guess she kind of just felt that and just was like, "Here, I think you need to come through. I got you." Anyways, had a session with her, and you know what Reiki is?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what she basically does. She does like Reiki on me, balance
Yo,
my
I always
energy,
want
balance my chakras. Dude, same. I didn't even like know she was like that. That's what's so funny. But anyways, yeah.
yo.
So that's like the first time I had that type of experience, and I could tell that it was healing. But also, not even just that. It's just when I was just talking to her, she was just telling me a lot of stuff about myself that I know I never told her. I never showed any clues of anything. It's just that she's so connected in her spirit that she's clairvoyant and can like, you know. So that's the person who got me into my spiritual journey. So it's like
Wow.
it's really crazy and really jarring at first, and now I'd say it's just beautiful. I'm just learning a lot more every day. I mean, everyone's a work in progress, but I know I still have a lot more even about the spiritual thing to learn. So I'm just practicing, man.
Man, I know how you feel. Like, I remember, like, I think I was always into like the spiritual stuff because for some reason, like, I always feel like I was destined for like to actually eventually know about it.
Right.
Because when I was younger, my mom told me that one of my grandmothers on my dad's side, like when my mom got pregnant with me, my grandmother on my dad's side, she got a dream about me having a crown on my head.
Mm.
My mom and my grandma next to me.
Mm.
And she was like, yo, you're not gonna be like your dad. So as soon as I was born, like they never let my parents like touch me.
Mm.
And they like showered me like for like a month or something, I believe, or a week before they like gave my parents permission to like, yo, you can do whatever you want now. Like he's safe.
Right.
And that's how it's been. Like I remember like I used to get like really bad dreams as a kid. And eventually I figured out like as a trauma response, I figured out how to lucid dream.
Oh wow.
And it just kept getting wilder and wilder. Like there's like this instance where I remember where there was someone who tried to put a curse on the house, and I was like the only one that don't remember it. But I just don't know what happened. And eventually, like people kept hinting on like, "Yo, you gotta go spiritual. You gotta go spiritual." And it was annoying me at first, but then when I finally got into it, when you go into your first spiritual awakening, it's painful.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like everyone else, but it's painful.
Exactly.
Like you get depressed for like a good while before you figure out like, yo, what I gotta do. Because at the point where I realized like, yo, this whole world isn't what I think it was then.
Exactly. I feel like I was lied to.
I know, right?
And then you're just exactly what I'm saying. I
Exactly
feel you, dog.
Like I was crying at night because I was like, yo, what the hell's happening? Like this doesn't make any sense. I don't know what to do anymore.
Exactly.
And eventually, I kind of realized that like I'm just here for like a certain amount of time, and while I'm here, like I gotta go with the flow and do the best that I can.
Yep, absolutely. You're here for a purpose.
Yo, like I still can't forget. I'm still learning, and one of the things that I only realized like last 2 years ago was that I have a sixth sense. Like basically, like one of the reasons why, like I believe everyone has it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I truly believe everyone has it. You just have to be aware of it.
Exactly.
But with me is that like if I hang around someone or I'm around places, I'll be able to pick up a vibe. I could tell that if you have good intentions or not. The way I feel it, like if you have bad intentions, I'll experience fear for no reason.
Yep. Yeah, you highly intuitive.
And it's like when I'm with someone who I feel safe with, I actually feel safe.
Exactly.
So there are cases where I'm hanging out with people who meant the world to me, and I'm experiencing fear. I'm like, yo, what the hell's happening? They're not doing anything wrong. And later down the line, you saw what something happens, and you were like, oh, that's what's happening.
Yeah, most def.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I definitely need to hear that again because I definitely can relate to being highly intuitive and also highly empathic, which is what you're saying when you're like, I can feel that. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm hella sensitive to people's energy. When I'm around different people, everyone's different. So yeah, I get that.
This whole spiritual journey, like I'm like getting goosebumps just talking about this whole situation because it's like you know what it is, but at the same time you don't. Exactly. But at the same time you're like, it's okay to feel this way.
Yeah. It's just like I feel like in my soul knows everything. It's just about remembering.
What do you usually use to like keep your energy in check?
Yes. It's a lot of things, man. But I think the number one thing for me is being outside, feet in the grass, grounded. I'm talking about like literally feet, no shoes, socks, and looking at the sun. Not like staring at it because I remember I posted something about sun gazing. It's not like I'm staring at it. I'll have my eyes closed and I'll let the sun just come in. Just feel all that warm energy, that good energy, and that fresh air from outside. That's really what keeps my energy up, keeps my energy feeling grounded and protected and refreshed. Other than that, also is just eating healthily and making sure I get exercise. As long as I do those things, I'm pretty good.
Yo, that's awesome. Yeah, sun gazing. The only time I actually get to do that is when I'm in Trinidad because in Trinidad, it's like a different lifestyle compared to America. Like in Trinidad, I could actually go bare feet when I want. I could like go stargazing. Yeah. I could just go in the morning because it's right nearby.
Yeah.
In America, it's like, yo, you gotta like keep your shoes on us. Everyone thinks you're weird and some shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, but usually for me, like I have a cup of crystals. I also use Palo Santo because I'm always around people every day.
Yeah, I gotta clear that energy.
I have to clear out the energy and the space that I'm in. And so far, that's it. I also want to experiment with more crystals, and I also do meditation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One of my friends, like, yo, it's crazy because I feel like one of my newest friends that came into my life for a reason. But long story short, that person is like has their own business.
Dope.
And what they do is they make oils. They also make sages. They also make their own candles for different purposes. Like if you feel tired, you can use that candle. And it's like, yo, this is freaking awesome. And we didn't even meet each other for that. It's just that when I asked about like to get to know them, that's when they kind of brought it up. I was like, yo, oh yeah.
No, yeah, that's super dope.
I know, right? Like, I feel like personally, like all the people who come into my life, it's not random. It's
absolutely.
I realized, like ever since I was a kid, that I had a hard time making friends. But when I actually do have a good friend, it's like they actually see my work.
Yeah, man, I feel that. I definitely feel that.
And it's and now it's to the point where when someone comes into my life, I can actually separate if they're here for a good reason or a bad reason.
Exactly. No, yeah, I definitely can relate to that. Also, for me, like, I definitely feel that because I grew up going to a lot of different schools. Because like my mom was on the West Coast, my dad was on the East Coast. At some points in my life, I wanted to live with my dad. And so I had to grow up and be in those East Coast schools. So it's like, okay, a new friend group every time. And then that was happening all the way up until high school. The only time I was out of school for like more than a year was that at that time in high school. So I can definitely relate to that, just having a hard time. And then, but also when you do have somebody that sees you, it's like they really see you for who you is.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo. But was it stressful being in two different areas or?
Yeah, definitely. Cause like a lot of times when I'll be flying coast to coast, I'm like 12, 13, or even earlier than 13 actually. I'm like 12, 11, 10 at these times. So it's like sometimes I have to fly by myself. I don't know, it would just be scary as a kid. Like honestly,
Oh
it's like
man.
anxiety, scary. But like I don't know, I was also able to adjust pretty easily after a while. Just like you just develop tough skin. So I think it was beneficial at the same time. And I got to see a lot early. So it made my worldview wider earlier.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yo. Something I wanted to say and I forgot. Oh, now I remember. Yo, how's the acting career going?
Catch me in American
Yo.
Pie, Speechless, Blackish. That's so funny,
Yo.
dude. No, yeah, I haven't been doing it recently, but yeah, man, I used to be on so many shows and commercials. I honestly would do it again. It's just that with the whole COVID thing, it's just a lot to wear a mask and holding and all this. And plus, it's like I wasn't in like the main role, so it's like they treat you a little bit differently. So it's like I wouldn't want to be treated differently and have to wear the mask and all that. That's the only reason why I haven't been doing it now. But I
Oh
consider going
man.
back after COVID and everything. And who knows when that'll be, but hopefully sometime soon.
Yo, I hope it goes away soon.
Yeah.
Yo. And yo, that's freaking awesome too. Like I remember seeing you posting a couple of cameos.
Yeah.
And I remember the name of the last one you win. I think it was the not the one you did last time, but the one where you guys ran away because
Oh,
of
that's hilarious. Yeah, 911.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show 911. I was on the Santa Monica Pier, and I was running away from a tsunami. Tsunami just washes everybody out. It was crazy seeing the episode, but it was so funny seeing me do that running. We had to do that so many times, and it was like 90 something degrees.
Yo. How many times you guys did
Dude,
that?
like literally, I don't know. We probably did each angle like 10 to 20 times. And it was like we had to do it like 3 or 4 times. So I don't know. I literally don't. It took like, it was like two days worth of shooting, 15 hours each.
Yo, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, dude, it was fun times though, for sure.
Yo, I always wanted to do stuff like that, but I just either didn't find time or I didn't trust like the companies that was doing it.
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the first one I was in that I seen myself in was, did you ever see that show Runaways, the Marvel show Runaways?
I've been wanting to see
I
it.
haven't seen it either besides the one episode. They put me in the first episode of the first season. And a lot of people were tagging me. That's the only reason why I seen it. But yeah, man, I've been in a lot of good and fun stuff, man, honestly.
Yo, I can't wait to see it now.
You seen me in there for a second.
Wow.
That's so funny.
But it's still amazing because I know like a couple people. There was one person who was on the podcast before, also did stuff like that. And it was a fun experience according to them. And plus it's good on the resume as well for like if you want to do something bigger.
Exactly.
Even if videos work as a resume.
And dude, it's so much free food and snacks, bro.
Yeah.
They give you breakfast if you see in the morning, and then they gotta give you lunch regardless. And
Oh
then they give you
man, that's
craft.
awesome.
I think it's called crafty, and it's just a bunch of chips, cookies, whatever. But the best one was
Oh
Disney,
man.
dude. Disney, they cook like their lunches is like on some gourmet shrimp pasta, like insane, dude. That was a lot of good times. Met a lot of good people who I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll be friends with forever doing that for sure.
Yeah, that's the best
Yeah,
part.
man, no doubt.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to Disney. Like this year was the first time like I actually like left New York since I moved to
Yeah,
New York.
man.
Yeah, like I've been to New
Hey,
Jersey, upstate. The next place I want to go is
hey,
Philadelphia
Philly.
and California, but
Gotcha.
I'm not sure like what's gonna
Yeah, I
happen.
understand. You know, it's so funny you mentioned New Jersey. I used to live in Edgewater, New Jersey. A little
What?
random, but yeah, I lived there for like my fourth grade year.
Yo, how was over there
Very
like?
cold.
Oh,
Cold in the winter, but it was kind of cool because it's like right at the border, so like where the bridge
hmm,
is. So it was kind of dope seeing that, and
yeah.
then not getting to go across to New York every now and then. And what's that show? Rev Run show was on at the time, so and I knew he was in New Jersey, so I just felt dope because of that. I think what was it? Run? I forgot that family show he had. Forgot what it's called.
um, I know it, but I can't remember
Yeah,
the
but you know what I'm
name.
talking about
I
for
haven't seen
sure.
it
I
in
know,
years.
right? Dang.
Oh man. Yo, so tell me about sound speed.
Sound speed, yeah, man. My solo project, my solo EP, which I don't know. I mean, as of now, it's still saying an EP, but if I just keep creating music, which is always a thing, it could turn into an album. So I don't know about that. As of now, I'm just gonna say it's an EP because that's what it is. And it's just me telling my story, honestly. Like, it's just a bunch of, I talk about tour on there. I talk about love. I talk about heartbreak. I talk about spirituality. I talk about just California. I talk about just, wanting girls or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that makes me me, I kind of put everything I could into it as far as the lyrics and storytelling. So I think it's gonna be a project that when people hear it, they'll understand me more for sure.
Oh man, I can't wait for it to
And
drop.
all
And
produced by West
also,
Period as of right now. My favorite producer.
hey, yeah, I need to work with
You
him
have
already.
to.
Like I've been
Yeah, dude, you guys are gonna make something fire.
hell yeah. And what inspired the name Soundspeed? I remember you
Oh
told me
yeah, no
before.
worries though. It's all good. It's it was actually it's so funny because we were just talking about being on set. I was on set for the show Euphoria. I was on the set of
Yep,
Euphoria, and if you, I'm sure you've been on sets before, or like you maybe have just heard this term. So like the man with the boom, the sound man, whenever they're ready,
yep.
he'll say sound speed, just meaning sounds up, like sounds ready. So I kept hearing them say sound speed, like it just kept sticking out to me, and I was laughing with my boy T. I was just like, yo, they love saying that. And then out of nowhere, I was just like thinking to myself, like, yo, it would be super hard if somebody named the EP Sound Speed. I was like, I mean, what if I name my shit Sound Speed? Yeah. So that's how the name came
Yo.
up. And to me, it's symbolic of yes, sound speed, sounds ready, but also it's like this is my first album by myself. This I've learned a lot about music and making music and about myself. And this is the best I've ever been skill wise. So sound speed is like, okay, this is my introduction to the world. Sound speed sounds up.
Yo. Yo, that's amazing. Like I never like that's one story I never get over.
Dude, I understand that. I love that story. It's so simple, but just so authentic.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of one of my projects I made when I first like when I got back
Hey,
into music. It's called Limited Options. Like part 3 is coming like next year. Yeah, it's basically about like when I first went back to Trinidad for the year, right? Because I got so overwhelmed by people ripping me off that I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this right now. So I went back to Trinidad. I was there for like a year, lived like a normal life, and then like about halfway in, like I got motivation to do it again. And I was like, yo, I gotta start. That means I gotta start all over. And since at the time people were still like treating me the same way they used to treat me, I was like, yo, I'm doing this myself with no one. So I was like, what other options do I got? So that's why I call it limited options.
That's super dope. Yeah, that's real.
So I had it in like 3-part series. The first one was, I was really underdeveloped when I started back. So I dropped that on my birthday. The second one, which is called Limited Options 2, Broken Soul, where I kind of like go over like some of the stuff that hurt me. I know you heard that project too. Like you heard Control before. That song like popped off in Trinidad. That song popped off really big in Trinidad.
He's not the type to be controlling.
Yo, that's some of my favorite joints to perform. Like when I performed that song for the first time at a club, I didn't expect that song to get the reaction it got. Like, yo, I performed that song and everyone was jumping. Like,
that's so tight.
And then the DJ, he got so hyped over the song that he did a chop and screw version of it for like 2 minutes. And I was like, yo, what the hell? Like, I stood still for like 30 seconds. I was like, yo, what the hell's happening? And then I started dancing with everyone was dancing.
That's a good feeling right there.
Hell yeah, that was one of my first milestones like I ever experienced ever since I came back. Like, yo, that was amazing. And part 3, which is going to be called season finale, it's more for like a self-awareness project where I kind of reflect on why I'm doing this. Like one of the songs called The Big Apple, it's about like, it's like about 2 different perspectives on like how I saw New York versus living in New York. Most of the songs like goes in a little bit of duality in a way. Like the first 2 songs are going to be like more smoother, but the last songs are going to be the same way, but in a more aggressive tone.
I'm excited for that, bro.
Yo, me too. And what made this project like extra special is that I'm working with people that I actually know and stuff, like working with people. It's like, this is the best feeling I ever had because I've been speaking to for years, and it's like, yo, I'm actually working together with these people. I love
that. That's super tight. I got some collaborations besides the Sound Speed project that I got that are with people that I feel like that I've been wanting to work with them for a minute. We've been boys for a minute. We finally got in. So yeah, bro, it's a lot of EB3 features coming soon too.
I can't wait. When are you dropping music again?
See, this is the thing. I want to go top of 2021 and go January, but I seen my boy Drizzy finna come out, and I know what's up when he dropped. So I don't really know. I mean, and I know a lot of people are gonna drop music, so I'm kind of just wanting to just look and see when would be the best time for me, just as a new artist. Just trying to open myself up to people, see when it's a good time. But I'm thinking January, February, no later than March for sure. I'll definitely have some more music out.
That's awesome. Like I've been like planning on like dropping like as soon as 2021 hits. I'm gonna drop music every month. Like I made basically like 2 years worth of music so far.
Yeah, bro, same.
So it's like I have to. So it's like I have to
Bro, I
drop them
feel
soon.
you.
Like
Because
there's
like
no
also it's
way.
just like I keep getting better. So I'm like, okay, let me put these songs out before I just get mad and not like them no more.
It's crazy because there's a lot of songs that I put out where I personally like felt like, yo, this is kind of not that, but the way the people
Yeah,
reacted, they were, yo, this is amazing. Like I can
exactly.
relate to
You never
this.
know too. That's one thing I love
Like,
about music. You never know which ones are gonna be the ones that people be like, nah, I really feel this.
yo, yo. Um, there's this one song that like I still bump
Mm.
to occasionally, which is "The Lights." Like, yo, how did you
Oh,
come up with
Light,
that
bro.
song?
Dude, that's a special song for sure. One of the most introspective and honest songs I've done. But I was this was like right before we went on the Macklemore and Kesha tour. I was out in Santa Clarita, just at my old
Hmm.
crib. My boy Saint Icky Davis, who produced the record, my homie, he live out in Reno now, but he used to
Hey,
live out in Santa Clarita with me. And he just came through. We had the computer set up. I had my own studio at the time, which I'm gonna get back to, I think, next year. But at the time, I had it set up, and he just had this beat, which was the beat for Light. And it was just like, ding, ding, like, just like a really beautiful bell chimey type of beat that just like, when I was just hearing it, it just made me think back to a lot of stuff that had just transpired in that past year. So I just, it was so funny because I didn't know it was gonna come out like that. It was just like, I heard that beat, I felt something, and I just started writing instantly. Like, came up with the hook first, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna just keep repeating that, and then I'm gonna just tell the story in the verse, and just wrote one long verse about as much story as I could tell about how I felt about what had just passed, and laid it, did my layers, added the reverb. That was it. It happened within like a couple hours or so, 2-3 hours. It was just one of those moments, man. That's
yo,
why the song is so special to me.
yo, yo, that the replay factor on that song, that song was
Thank
so
you, bro.
relatable. It was like, yo, like I was like, yo, whatever this dude is coming up with next is gonna be crazy.
My brother.
No way. Like it's just no way he's gonna leave me hanging like this.
Facts, bro. I got a lot of good stuff for everyone. I know I got to feed the people because y'all the reasons why I want to keep doing this. Honestly, besides my love
Yo,
for it, is just like
how it's
people
almost
like you supporting me is a blessing, bro. So I appreciate you
always welcome. You know what?
always,
Got you,
fam.
bro. Nice. Now it's almost an hour. Now before we go, where can
Yeah,
people
man.
find you?
So social media wise, Instagram EB3PM, Twitter EB3PM. Other than that, SoundCloud Eric Barrier the Third, Apple Music and Spotify. Type in EB3. You'll find some of my songs. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you
Awesome.
once again.
Always welcome. Be sure and follow EB. Stay
Yeah,
awesome,
peace and love,
everyone.
y'all.
Peace.
My dog.